the end for that session. A lot of the questions I will probably answer as we go through the webinar. Yeah, so just jot them down, and then if they're still unanswered at the end of the webinar, just use that 10 minutes at the end to fire away any questions you have. As I said, yeah, the session is also going to be recorded, and it will be sent in a follow-up email to you, so you can refer back to it if necessary, along with some follow-up steps from the session, because we do cover quite a lot. So yeah, we'll send an email with a recording and some follow-up actions for you. Yeah, so you can also share that recording with anybody who hasn't been able to attend this evening. Cool. Yeah, just a few things that we're going to cover tonight. As I mentioned, there is quite a lot that we go through. So as I said, we will. It's been recorded, and you will get an email with actions and stuff. So yeah, just try and take in as much as possible. First things first is just we're going to talk about SIM card providers. So yeah, it's hopefully you've all got a SIM card already, but we'll just cover that off quickly. We're then going to talk about how you can just run 2 quick tests on your kit before you use it for the first time. And then sticking with hardware, we're going to just talk about the different aspects of your kit which you'll need to charge from week to week. So before each use, there are 2 bits of kit which you'll need to charge. We'll move away from hardware. Sorry, I'm just going to stop here. There's some questions for us. Yeah, so you just say the questions to the end, guys. I'm just going to. Yes, everybody is on mute. It's a webinar, so yeah, you can't hear. Nobody can hear each other. Nobody can see each other. You can all just see me. Moving away from hardware, then yeah, match request process. So we're going to talk about different ways in which you can, how you request your matches for streaming. So the process that we have for that. We'll quickly touch on linking your YouTube account if you haven't done this already. Hopefully most of you have. If you haven't, we'll just cover that off. Then we'll talk about the Play Cricket Scorer app integration and how the app is powering the graphics and highlights on your live stream. Then we'll move on to talking about the different ways in which your community and your club and your family and friends, etc., can view your stream and highlights and interact with it. Then we'll cover off logos and sponsors if you want to have any of those in your stream and how you get them on there. And then just before we finish off with some tips and tricks before the Q&A, the optional Q&A, we'll talk about what happens on a match day and our match day support that we offer. It's important to note that we don't go through the kit setup step by step on this call. Please refer to the match day setup guide, which is in your kit, and also you would have received a link to the online article, which has a very helpful video which takes you through the setup step by step. So yeah, just make sure you view that video and the setup guide, and you're confident with the setup before streaming for the first time. I'm going to turn my video off now whilst I'm presenting, as I do have a number of videos which I play, and they seem to play a bit better when my video is off, so I will turn it back on for the Q&A at the end. Cool. SIM card providers then, yeah. So as I said, this was also covered in your original delivery and onboarding email. But if you haven't already, you'll need to purchase a 4G SIM card and ensure you are using a compatible SIM provider. So when we say a compatible SIM provider, there are 4 providers which don't work with FrogBox, which you must avoid. So those are Smarty, giffgaff, Sky, and Talk Mobile. And then we recommend using one of the 4 main providers here in the UK. So EE, Vodafone, O2, and Three. Basically, those are the four providers which provide the 4G infrastructure here in the UK. So yeah, what we say, try and avoid piggyback providers. So people like Leica Mobile, ID Mobile, Labara, all those sorts of guys. They basically piggyback off one of those 4 main networks. And what we see sometimes happening during busy periods, so at the weekends and in evenings, at times when you're going to be streaming, the main providers will squeeze off those piggyback providers and prioritize their own customers. So what we're sometimes seeing is streams dropping out, etc. So yeah, just go with one of the main 4 providers if possible. And yeah, to determine which is the best provider for you, there is an Ofcom coverage map. Now this indicates the coverage on all 4 main networks at a particular address. Now we've actually done the legwork for you, and we've plugged your ground, all of your grounds, individual ground postcode into this map, plugged the address in there, and we've informed you in your onboarding email which provider is the best for you to go with. So which one has the best signal at your ground. So yeah, we recommend using that provider or one of the providers that we recommended for optimal streaming. Yeah, and in terms of what plan you're after, we recommend purchasing a SIM-only plan so that you're not tied into a contract. So obviously, and you can cancel it when the cricket season finishes. So obviously the season is only 6 months long. You don't want to be tied into sort of 12-month or a 24-month contract. So just get yourself a rolling monthly contract, and it'll allow you to cancel at any time, so you can just cancel when the season finishes. And then in terms of how much data you'll need, a bit of a guide for you. Obviously, it depends on how many times you're wanting to stream each week. It will determine the plan that you need. Just as a guide, a 6-hour stream uses approximately 5 gigabytes of data. So if you're just intending on streaming once a week on a Saturday, then you're probably looking at about 25 to 30 gigabytes per month plan that you'll need. And just a final note with Vodafone network SIM cards. So if you are going to use a Vodafone network SIM card or a Vodafone piggyback network, which obviously we don't recommend doing, but if you do use one of those, please make sure that you contact the support team prior to your first stream, as your SIM card will need a quick configuration in the encoder. So this is only for Vodafone SIMs. All other SIMs are just plug and play and they work fine. It's just Vodafone. Yeah, reach out to the support team. There'll be a link at the end of this presentation to our support website, which is how you get in touch with our support team. Just raise a ticket and we'll get you to book in a quick 5-minute call just to configure the Vodafone SIM before using it. Cool. All right then, moving on to the hardware test. So the first test that you're going to run on your kit, just to check it's all working and you're happy, okay, is the encoder test. So first things first is you'll need to ensure that you have your SIM card. So once you've bought your SIM card, make sure you've got it loaded with data. I'm going to play a quick video here to show you what you really need to do. So first things first is you'll need to locate the SIM card tray and then flip the encoder upside down. And just pop open the SIM card tray using the pin provided. Quite an important step here is just flipping the encoder upside down. You'll see why in a moment. Make sure the SIM card is sat in the tray the correct way around. Basically, when the encoder is flipped upside down, the SIM card will just sit in the tray rather than you having to hold your finger. Hold it in with your finger. And then just slide it in slowly, and just be careful as you slide it in. Make sure the SIM card doesn't ride up in the tray. If it does do that, just lift it and slide it at the same time. Once you're certain that the SIM card's gone in properly, screw the antenna onto the 4G antenna, onto the corresponding 4G port. Screw it on nice and tight. And then just screw the Wi-Fi antenna onto the Wi-Fi port. Not necessarily, if you're using 4G, you don't necessarily need to have the Wi-Fi one on. We just recommend it's good practice. And then just bend the antennas and point them upwards. They do only bend one way and they're quite fragile, so just don't force them. And then head onto the side and press the on button for a couple of seconds. You should hear a beep and you should get a blue on light come on. Now the encoder takes about 15 seconds to boot up now, so just wait a little while. You'll see on the side screen, you'll see a little loading screen. And then after it's booted up, you'll hear a second double beep. And your 4G light should start blinking blue. So when it's blinking blue, that means it's looking for the network. It's looking to try and connect to the network. Once it goes solid blue, that means you're connected to the network. And you should be online. And you'll see an IP address as well at the bottom there, just showing that you're connected. So that's all we're doing there. We're just popping our SIM card in, making sure the encoder's recognizing it. And we're just trying to get that blue 4G light. Cool, so just a little troubleshooting step here. If you've done all of that and you don't get that 4G light, there's a little step that you can undertake. So yeah, you've turned the encoder on, you put your SIM card in, you've turned the encoder on, 4G light does nothing, doesn't even blink. Head on to the opposite side of the encoder, to the on button, and just push that slider towards unlock. That basically unlocks those 3 buttons on the right hand side there. And once you've unlocked it, just press the 4G button. Just single press it once, you should hear a beep. And what you're doing there is you're manually initiating the 4G mode. So it should start blinking blue, as we saw before, where it tries to connect to the network. And then hopefully, eventually, once you're connected, it will go solid blue. So again, if you perform that troubleshooting step and you're still and your light does nothing, so you press the 4G button, it doesn't even blink, that will be because the SIM card is not quite sat in the tray properly, and the encoder is not recognizing the SIM card. So just go back and double check that you've inserted it properly and it hasn't ridden up in the tray as you've inserted it. Your encoder also has the capability to use an Ethernet connection instead of 4G. Now we recommend really using 4G. 4G is definitely the more preferable option. We found it's a much more stable, much more reliable network than broadband. Broadband has a lot of instability. It can be quite unstable. It's also, if you're using what we say, if you're using Ethernet, try and avoid using a public network, because if it's a public network with lots of users on, that's going to squeeze the bandwidth of your network, and ultimately it could affect your streaming. So preferably, if you're going to go down this option, use a private network with little or no users on. You'll need an Ethernet cable long enough to reach your FrogBox kit from your broadband router if you do go down this route. But yeah, just make sure that cable length doesn't exceed sort of 30 to 40 meters, because the longer the cable is, the signal drops over distance. So again, that will affect your streaming. If you are using Ethernet though, there's the way for you to check that you're online is obviously plug the Ethernet cable directly into the front of the video encoder, into the Ethernet port of the video encoder. Turn it on, and after it's booted up, you should see an IP address again on the side. So like we saw before with the SIM card, we had a G in brackets. When you're connected via Ethernet, you'll see an E in brackets, which means obviously E for Ethernet. That's the way for you to check that you're online if you're using Ethernet. Cool. Moving on then to the camera. This is our next test. We're just going to check here that the camera is outputting vision okay. So again, I'm just going to play a short video. First thing that you'll need to do is ensure the lens cover on the front of your camera is open. So there's a little slider on the side. Open it up if it's not open already. Head round and just flip open the side window of the camera, or the viewfinder as we call it, and then just locate the on button there and just press and hold it for a couple of seconds. You'll see a no card message pop up on the screen. Now that's absolutely fine. That means that there's no SD card in the camera, and we don't need that for streaming. Locate the mini HDMI port on the camera and plug in the mini HDMI cable, which is already attached, wrapped around your camera. Notice here how the HDMI cable is being looped underneath the camera through the attachment there. We'll talk a bit more about that later. Grab the other end of that mini HDMI cable you just plugged into the camera. That is a normal HDMI end, and plug that into the input end of your HDMI repeater. Again, that all comes attached already in your kit, so just leave it. It has to be this way around. From the output end is your long HDMI cable, so your 5-meter HDMI cable. Head down then and grab your video viewer, which looks like this. Grab the other end of that long HDMI cable and plug that into the HDMI in port of your video viewer. Obviously there's 2 HDMI ports there, it has to go into the in port. You'll also need your battery pack for this, which will need to be charged and turned on. And then just grab your video viewer power cable, which looks like that. Plug it into your battery pack. And then plug the smaller end of that cable, the DC cable, into the DC 12-volt port of your video viewer. So all you're doing there is giving your video viewer power. Wait a few seconds and you should hopefully get an image in your video viewer. That's all we're doing there. We're just checking that our camera is outputting vision okay. Now, if you've watched the setup video already and you've had a go at the setup, you'll know that video viewer is only used for pre-game setup. So it's used to line up your camera. So obviously if your camera is 4 meters in the air on top of your tripod, you can't see what the camera's pointing at. So that is what that screen is for. It's a visual guide for you. Once you've lined up the camera with a pitch, you remove the HDMI cable from that video viewer and you plug it into your video encoder, which is what we've just seen with the one that the little box that houses the SIM card with the antennas. Cool. All right then, moving on to charging your kit. So very important. There are two aspects of your kit which you'll need to charge before each use. First one is your camera. You need to charge this off mains before each use. Now a lot of people will ask the question here, why do I need to charge my camera before the game when I've got it plugged into the battery pack during the game? There's a very simple answer to that, and that is that your camera only charges when it's switched off. So obviously during the game, your camera's going to be switched on, it won't be getting charged. So yeah, you need to charge it before each use. Again, just going to play a quick video here to show you how to do it. Hopefully you've done it already. Obviously, first thing you do is make sure your camera's off. Locate the charging cable, the power cable, which is already plugged into your camera, comes with it. It's a DC cable, it goes into the camera, and then it's at the other end of that is a USB cable. USB end goes into a USB plug adapter, and you plug it directly into mains. And you should have a red blinking light on the back, which indicates that charging has begun. And charging is complete when that light stops blinking, so the light goes out completely. Common mistake with the camera charging is that people will try and charge it using the mini USB port, which is located next to the HDMI cable. That is not how you charge it. You charge it using the DC to USB cable, which you've just seen here. So yeah, don't plug in a mini USB cable. Use that power cable that we've just seen in that video. And just a final note with the camera, do not remove the small battery from the back of the camera, because when you do that, sometimes the settings on the camera will reset the factory default, and some of the settings have been configured before being sent to you to be optimized with FrogBox streaming. So just leave that battery attached. Cool. Next one then, your battery pack. So this is obviously what makes FrogBox what it is. It's a portable battery pack. It means you don't have to plug in any mains. So yeah, we need to charge this every week because this will be powering your kit during the game. So yeah, what we recommend doing is fully charging it ahead of the weekend. So if you've got a game on a Saturday, Sunday, just charge it, stick it on charge on a Friday night. It is a very large battery. It's about 38,000 milliamp battery. Not that will mean much to many of you, but basically, as I said, it's a very large battery. So it will take a long time to charge. It takes approximately 9 hours from flat to full. But once fully charged, it can provide power for up to 20 hours to your FrogBox kit. So, you know, it can quite comfortably cover two games, you know, 2 7-hour games, probably even a third game off one charge. So that's why we recommend put it on charge on a Friday night. It will cover a Saturday game, it will cover a Sunday game easy. Again, just going to play a quick video here to show you how to charge your battery pack. Hopefully, again, you've done this already. Battery pack there on the right, open up the rubber cover, locate the charging port there, which is that one. Grab your battery pack charging cable, which is that one. Plug in the DC cable into the battery pack and just plug it into mains. And then you should see some blue lights on the front. So the number of blue lights blinking means how long it's got left to charge. So yeah, once it's fully charged, it means you'll have 4 solid blue lights. Very important note with the battery pack. Yeah, when in use in the FrogBox setup, it must be standalone from mains power. So this is another reason why you have to charge it before the game. You can't charge it during the game because when it's on charge itself, it does not give any output charge. So if you had your battery pack plugged into mains and you had your camera plugged into your battery pack, your camera would not be receiving any power from the battery pack and your camera will eventually die. So yeah, do not have it plugged into mains during the game or when you've got anything else connected to it, because whatever you've got connected to it won't be getting power. Cool. Just a little note on the encoder here then. So yeah, there's no need to charge this off mains every week. However, just the first time you get your kit, so a lot of you probably you know, in the last week or two, probably just got your kit. So just fully charge the encoder off mains for the first time. You need to use the mini USB cable, and again use your USB adapter plug. But as I said, yeah, no need to charge this off mains every week, because unlike your camera, your encoder does charge when it's switched on. So during the game, when your encoder is connected to the battery pack, which it should be at all times, it will be getting the charge and it will be charging itself. So yeah, no need to charge that every week. All right, lovely. So moving away then from hardware and moving on to requesting matches for streaming. So yeah, a little process we have at the moment. All matches that you wish to stream must be requested via the Our Support portal, which will show you a link how to get to that shortly, 5 days in advance of the fixture. Now, obviously, I'm aware that a lot of you, obviously, on your onboarding session tonight, and you're probably wanting to stream this weekend. That's absolutely fine. What we'll do, I'll show you when we go through the video. We'll show you how you can get your match request in for this weekend, and then you can get your match request in for the rest of the season next week, perhaps. Cool. So yeah, little video for you. Show you how to request matches for streaming. So head over to our support website, which is this. You may have been on it already. If you haven't, just gonna go back to that. Oh, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Not sure what's going on there. All right, here we go. So frogbox.freshdesk.com/support/solutions or /home, either of the two. So yeah, head over to our support website. At the top, you'll see a new support ticket button. Click that. Just fill out the ticket form. So at the top is your email address. Then it's just select the appropriate from the drop down. So in this case, StreamerCast. And as I said, yeah, just if you're wanting to stream this weekend, just select a single match request. Select England and Wales. Your club name, your FrogBox kit number. So this was in the this is in your FrogBox onboarding email, and it's also the number in the name of your WhatsApp support group. So just that. It's how we identify you. So it's quite important that you include that. And then just select an appropriate subject. And then what we need from you is the Play Cricket URL for each fixture that you wish to stream. So head over to your club's Play Cricket website, go to your fixtures section, use the filters and the months appropriately to find the fixture in question that you wish to stream. Once you've found it, tick the magnifying glass on the right hand side next to it. And then what we need from you is that URL at the top there. So just copy and paste that into the body of your ticket. Now, as I said, if you're wanting to stream this weekend, just find the game for this weekend and submit one ticket. However, what I'd recommend doing, and well, in fact, what we encourage you to do is go through your season fixture list and submit every single link all in one go. Put it all in one long list on the ticket and submit them to us, and we can bulk load all your fixtures into the season. So doing it this way is best because it prevents you from having to remember to do it every week. You know, it prevents you missing that 5-day window if you do accidentally miss it and you raise it late. So yeah, go through your fixture list, raise them all in one ticket, and we can bulk load them in for you, and then it's done for the season, and you don't have to worry about it. And then yeah, so if you do submit that season request, if there's a fixture in that, if there's a fixture that comes up that you want to stream that isn't in that season request, that's fine. You can just submit ad hoc requests as and when you know you want to stream, just adhering to that 5-day window where possible. Cool. YouTube account then. Link in your YouTube account. So yeah, you'll need your own YouTube account to stream. So if you haven't already, you'll need to create a brand account on YouTube. And yet there was a link to instructions on how to do this in that delivery onboarding email. And it's also there again at the bottom of this slideshow. So as well as the recording, you'll get a PDF of this slideshow, so you can click the links in them too. A brand account, so you need to create a brand account. A brand account allows the channel owner to give permission to others to manage the account. So that's what you'll be doing here. You'll be giving permission to manage your account and set up streams for you. You'll need to add your email address. Sorry, you need to add our email address as a manager of your account so that we can then link it to the FrogBox system. So the email address is there, frogbox.support@sportradar.com. You'll also need to enable live streaming on your account. So that's another point. If you're wanting to stream this weekend and you haven't yet enabled live streaming, you'll need to do that ASAP. So tonight, probably, because basically YouTube takes 24 hours to process live streaming requests. So yeah, obviously, if you're wanting to stream on Saturday, you haven't done it yet, and you've got 24 hours. So yeah, it's cutting it fine. So yeah, you need to get it done tonight if you haven't done that already. All right, cool. Moving on then to the Play Cricket Scorer app and FrogBox and how that is all integrated and working together. So if you didn't know already, FrogBox's automated highlights and graphics are powered by the Play Cricket Scorer app, not Play Cricket Scorer Pro. So Play Cricket Scorer Pro is the laptop version. FrogBox does not work with the laptop version. It is exclusive to the phone and the tablet app. So make sure you have downloaded that from the App Store or the Google Play Store onto your tablet or your phone, and you're always using the latest version of the app to score your matches. Your device that you're scoring on, so your tablet or your phone, will always need to be connected to the internet. So it can either be connected to Wi-Fi or 4G. It doesn't need to be the same network as your video encoder or your FrogBox kit. It can be any network as long as it's online. If there is someone else scoring the same match on PCS Pro, so sometimes your opposition scorer might be there on the laptop, just ensure that they are offline scoring, and that your device that you're scoring on is the live scorer. Cool. Just going to play a quick video here then, just to show you some of the sort of 3 or 4 of the main differences in the app when you're streaming, when you're using FrogBox. So the differences that we'll notice for your scorers to be aware of. So first things first is when the match has been set up for streaming, you'll see this prompt at the start. So yeah, you'll just need to ECB guidelines. Everybody participating in the game has to provide consent for the match to be filmed and shared. So all players and umpires have to consent. Once that's been consented, just hit confirm, continue through. This will take you to the match settings page. So this is just standard here. This is just showing you the match settings page in the app, so you can change different settings if you want. But yeah, most of the time you'll be streaming league fixtures, I imagine, so all these settings will be set and you don't need to change them. Once you're happy, hit match setup, select who won the toss, hit done. Now this next prompt you see here, oh, why has it done that? They keep doing that. Yeah, so this next prompt that you see in here is sorry, where am I? Yeah, so it's informing FrogBox that the match is about to start, and it's going to commence the automation of live graphics. So yeah, when all the players and umpires entering the field of play, the moment your scorer hits OK here, you'll notice what happens on your live stream. So the moment they hit OK, here we go, on the live stream, it triggers the automated pre-game graphics. So if you've got any sponsors, they come out on the right-hand side, and then the teams pop out on the left-hand side. So this is just an automated process. So just by your scorer hitting OK to that prompt, it triggers the live graphics, and it goes through its pre-game, its standard pre-game ritual. And then it just goes through to the live in-match graphics, which just look like that, which you've probably seen before. Cool, just continue through then in the app with the standard process, selecting the strike batter and the non-strike batter, and then the bowler. Cool, and then the first thing you're probably going to notice here, the main difference when you're scoring a FrogBox game, is this bowler running in button. So before each, oh, I've done it again, sorry. So before each ball, your scorer will need to press bowler running in. So bowler running in basically is it's how your automated highlights are clipped. So yeah, it's very important. So your scorer is basically responsible for the time of your highlight. So what that button does is the moment your scorer hits that button, it creates a timestamp in the video, and that's how the beginning point of the highlight is created. So what you might sometimes see after a game, if you're going through your highlights, if your highlights are sort of out of sync or they're not on time, you know, so a highlight starts, say it's a 4, your highlight, nice cover drive, the highlight starts as the batsman's hit the ball or after he's hit the ball. That will be because your scorer has hit the bowler running in button as he hit the ball. So quite straightforward. Your scorer needs to hit it as it says, as the bowler is running in, so it can capture the whole highlight. Your scorer will not be able to, once they hit the, what is going on here? Once they hit the bowler running in button, you'll then get the normal scoring buttons which pop up. So you can score the ball as normal, so a dot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. If it's a 4, obviously it's going to clip off a highlight. If it's a dot ball, it won't clip off a highlight. So yeah, the app is automatically clipping off highlights. So it clips off any boundaries, so 4, 6s, wickets, and milestones. So milestones being 50s, 100s, 5s, and 10s, and also team milestones as well. So any 100s, 200s, etc. So yeah, your scorer needs to select bowler running before each ball, and then they can score the ball as normal. So as well as automated highlights, new for the season, your scorer can also manually clip off any ball as a highlight. So, you know, if something funny happens, if there's a drop catch or there's an appeal, your scorer can now clip off any ball as a highlight manually. So using this ball event button here, this orange one that you can see. So before they score the ball, so before they select dot ball or a 1 or 2, whatever, just hit ball event. It will come up with 4 options. Just select the appropriate option. So appeal, mischance, great moment, or other event. And once you've selected the ball event, you can then just score the ball as normal. Don't worry, however, if your scorer forgets to select ball event before they score the ball, you can also retrospectively go in and tag the ball as a highlight. So say they've scored it as a 2, but then later on you want to clip it as a highlight, just hit the edit pen button, and then you can find the ball event option in there, and you can tag it as a highlight. So, you know, you can even be in the second innings, and you can clip, if something from the first innings got missed, you can go back to it and clip it as a highlight if you want. Next thing I just want to quickly show you then is breaks in play. So hit the match actions button, and hit breaks. I'm just going to show you how the breaks in play are also powering the graphics on the screen. So say it's a drinks break, select drink, hit done, and hit done again, and you'll see what happens on your live stream whenever you select the break in the app. It will bring up a batting summary scorecard of the current state of play. And then you'll also see a match summary scorecard. So yeah, it will summarize the 2 innings or just the first innings if you're in the first innings. And this is also where sponsors come out at the bottom here. So this is also important for your scorers as well. Make sure they are triggering breaks whenever there is a break. Because if you've got sponsors on here that you want to get regular coverage, this is where they get exposure. And then very simply to just come out, back out the breaks, hit the resume button, and that will automatically put your graphics on your screen back into the normal in-game graphics. So those are the main differences there, really, when scoring in the app, when you're using FrogBox. A bowler running in button, that optional ball event button for you to tag anything as a highlight, and breaks in play. Already, viewing your stream and highlights. Yeah, so different ways in which your club and community can interact with your stream and highlights. There are a few different ways. Again, I'm just going to play a quick video here. So the first one is within the Play Cricket Live app. So this is different to the Play Cricket Scorer app. This is a fan engagement app, so it's an app where you can just check all the live scores. So you can follow your local league, you can follow your club, check all the live scores, and it's also where you can view your live stream. So if you haven't got this app, I strongly encourage you to download it. You can download off the App Store or the Google Play Store. Also encourage everyone at your club to download it because you can check live scores, etc., and videos and streams there. Once you downloaded it, in the top left there's a little shield button. Hit that. And this is where you can follow clubs and leagues. So in this case, we're just going to follow a club. Say it's our club. So we're going to search for it in the search bar. Once you've found it, select it. It should default to the correct season. So obviously we're in 2023 now. So by default, it should say 2023, but just check that. And then you can follow different teams at your club. So you can follow the second 11 league team. You can follow the under 11s team, the under 12s, etc. Just by hitting the star. But if you want to follow every team, just hit the big star at the top and it'll follow them all. And then just go back to the dashboard here. And this is where you'll see live scores. So if you're following a league, say you want to follow the Lancashire League, this is where the Lancashire League Division 1 or whatever, this is where you'll see every single game there. If you're just following your club, this is where you'll see all the live scores and results, etc. on the dashboard. So, yeah. And then at the bottom here, there's the video tab. This is where you can view your highlights. In the middle, the bottom of the app, there's a video tab. Just go into there. If you're following your club, you'll see your highlights. So it shows the 50 most recent highlights here in the app. Just keep scrolling along and it will bring up the 50 most recent ones. And yeah, you can view highlights here as well. So just find the highlight, click on it, and it'll play it within the app. That's quite cool. People can engage with your highlights, etc., within the app. You can also view a live stream in the app. So within that videos tab, there's a live menu in the top left-hand corner here. Select that, and your live stream will appear there when it is live, along with every other live stream at that time. So if you're going in there on a Saturday, you might see 150 plus live streams. So you can also have a look at others as well if you want. So yeah, you can also view the live stream within the app too. Yeah, if you haven't got that app, I'd encourage you to download it. Next place then is on playcricket.com. So on the scorecard of your match, of the match in question, you can interact with the stream and highlights. Now this is actually from last year. This video is outdated. So there used to be a stream button here in the top right hand corner. This has been updated this year on Play Cricket. So there is now it has its own tab. So this scorecard tab up here in the top left. To the left of that, you'll see you'll now see a match stream tab. So that is where your live stream will appear within that match stream tab. Works in the same way pretty much. It's just an embedded live YouTube feed, just directly on playcricket.com. So that's quite cool. You can view the live stream there on the scorecard. And you also see here these play buttons, these black play buttons down the right hand side. So this is just a highlight clip of that person getting out, so that batsman getting out. So yeah, you can select it and it'll play the highlight. So there's literally no hiding for anybody now. It's on the scorecard. It's there for everybody to see. That's quite a nice little feature. And then we've also got this videos tab here in the top right hand corner. So this is basically your highlight center. So every single highlight which is created during the game you will find here. So you can select the innings along the top, find the different highlights. Yeah, and as I said, app is automatically clipping off 4s, 6s, wickets and milestones, so they will all appear there. You can filter by player, so you can find a particular person's highlight if you want. And you can also filter by highlight type. So yeah, as I said, these highlight types, this list will be a bit longer now. So you've got wickets, 4s, 6s, as well as appeals, great moments, other events, etc. So yeah, you can filter by those. And your milestones appear within the other events filter. So yeah, again, just to play the highlight, you just click on it and it will pop up on Play Cricket, and you can play the highlight there too. Yeah, so there's the two ways on Play Cricket really. So you've got the app and on the web, the desktop as well, which you can view it. Obviously, the third and final place in which you can view your stream is directly on youtube.com. So once you've got your YouTube account created and all your streams are going to your YouTube account, I strongly encourage you to encourage people to subscribe to your club's YouTube channel. So obviously, the more subscribers you have, the more reach you're going to get. And yeah, when people subscribe to your channel, they'll get notified whenever you go live as well. So yeah, you can just share the YouTube URL directly with people. You know, you can share your YouTube URL on Twitter or on Facebook, whatever, so everybody can interact that way. Cool. Final thing I just want to mention then is LilyPad. So this was a new product launched last year by us. This is included in your 2023 streaming pass fee. So yeah, it is. I'd highly encourage you to get access to this. Basically, it is a highlight creation tool that gives you the power to easily select your favorite moments from a FrogBox match, compile them into packages, and share them with your club and community. So yeah, it's basically like a sort of a Adobe Premiere Pro video editing type software, sort of a bit of a basic version of that. But basically, yeah, so every game you've ever streamed on FrogBox, all of your highlights will appear here. And you can create, as I said, you can create nice packages. So if someone scores 100, you can create a nice package, a nice 100 package, or someone takes a 5 for, you can take a nice quick package of them taking a 5 for. Really helpful and really good for things like end of season presentations, or even if you just want to build your social media profile, you can create nice packages and share them on social media and things like that. So yeah, strongly encourage you to get access to this and utilize it. Very simple to get access. Just raise a ticket on the portal, just request an access with your email address, and you can request for up to 3 people from your club to have access to this. So yeah, as I said, I encourage you to do that. Cool. Very quickly then, just before we wrap up with the last couple of slides, sponsors and logos. So yeah, there are 4 areas to incorporate sponsors and logos on your stream. Each of these areas has a particular size requirement for the graphics. So yeah, please make sure you resize your images to these sizes before you send them through to us. So yeah, 4 areas. I'm just going to quickly go through the video here. First one is your club logo in the scorebar. So yeah, we've got your club logo loaded in already, but if you want any opposition logos to show, you'll need to send those through to us if you want them to show in the scorebar. Second area is the top right sponsor or club logo watermark area. It's your area. You can put any logo there you want. You can put your club badge there if you like. Third one then is the pre-match sponsor board. So this is the one that we saw earlier. This pops out at the start of play. And it allows you to have multiple sponsors, so you can have up to 8 images here. And as I said, those same graphics also show during breaks in play. So whenever there's a break in play triggered, those logos will appear there too. Final one then is end of over sponsor banner. So if you want a banner to pop up at the end of every over, you can do. And again, you can have up to 8 of those there too. So yeah, those image sizes are outlined here: 114 by 114, 200 by 200, 800 by 150, yeah, and 1900 by 150. Once you've resized all your graphics for the correct location, just submit them on a ticket to us. Just attach the files on a ticket and submit them through, and our support team will add them in and create a graphics profile for you. Sponsors are set for the season. Images can be removed, but they can't be replaced with alternative images on a frequent basis. This feature will hopefully come next year when you have a self-service portal where you can just edit images yourself, etc. But yeah, for this season, they're set for the season. All right then. Finally, well, penultimate slide. Match day support and process. So what happens on the match day? So yeah. FrogBox match day support is done via WhatsApp, so you'll need to download it if you haven't already. You will have received an invitation link to your club's dedicated WhatsApp group in your first email. So in that onboarding delivery email, there's a link to join your group. If you haven't joined it yet, make sure you do join it. soon. If share that link, we recommend sharing that link with everybody at your club who's going to be involved with FrogBox. So yeah, as many people can be in it as you like, preferably everybody using FrogBox. And that WhatsApp group is to be used for match day support only. So if you've got any questions outside of match day, please use the support portal. Please don't use the WhatsApp group because it's not monitored outside of match days. And then yeah, on a match day, what you need to do is set up the kit in your preferred position on the pitch. So using that setup video, if you need it for assistance, you might need it for the first couple of times, but after that, it should be pretty straightforward. You can set up your kit as early as you like, but do not switch the encoder on more than 45 minutes before scheduled start. The reason for that is if you turn your encoder on earlier, our servers aren't live yet, so it will require manual intervention by our support team for the stream to get pushed through. However, if you turn it on within 45 minutes, the whole process is automated, and there shouldn't be any need for any intervention from the support team. So yeah, just a little tip for you. Yeah, just with the encoder. Once you've turned that encoder on, and you've got that solid blue 4G light that we saw earlier, and you've got a flickering green cloud symbol, those are the two signs that you're streaming okay. And at that moment, just send us a message in the WhatsApp group just saying that you're all set up, and our support team will quickly check everything for you. So yeah, the support team they'll always be online whenever you're streaming. So yeah, we've got quite good support team. So yeah, just send a message through and we'll check everything for you. As long as you requested the stream, there will be someone there. Then the stream goes live on YouTube 10 minutes before scheduled start, and the live graphics are triggered once live scoring on the app begins. Cool. Final one then, some tips and tricks and some best practices. Yeah, so first one's most importantly, and you'll be surprised how many people fail to do this, but there are two things which you need to charge each week: your camera and your battery pack. Without power or without charge, you cannot stream. So yeah, make sure those are charged each week or before each use. Second one, when streaming, both your encoder and your camera needs to be plugged into your battery pack. Your battery pack has 3 USB ports. The encoder should be plugged into the middle one, and the camera should be plugged into either of the outer two. So we recommend plugging the camera into the 2.1 amp port, which is labeled here. And you can also see it labeled on that rubber cover, which covers over the port. Basically, don't plug it in the middle one because the middle one doesn't have enough power to power your camera. It's only a 1 amp outlet, whereas the other two are a lot higher and can power your camera. Ensure you have enough data on your SIM card to stream the day. So yeah, obviously, if you don't have any data, you can't stream 5 gigabytes for 6 hours of streaming. Raise the encoder off the ground. A little tip, yeah, it helps with signal. Don't stick the encoder directly on the ground because yeah, they hate being there and they struggle to connect with signal. So your encoder is trying to connect to a nearby 4G mast, so the higher it can get, the better. Picture on the left there, we recommend sit it on top of your green box. You've also got an encoder tripod clamp in your kit. So that picture in the middle there, you can there's a little clamp it onto the tripod, and you can screw the back of your encoder onto it, and it will help raise the encoder off the ground. So utilize that as well. That's particularly useful at any enclosed grounds. Keep the encoder away from any tall obstructions like hedges, walls, overhanging trees, sight screens, etc. Yeah, so the encoder, as I said, needs to be out in the open as much as possible. So looking at the image on the right here, obviously, as I said, it's got to connect to a nearby 4G mast. So if you're right up against the wall, it's going to really struggle. So yeah, make sure it's got as clear view of the sky as possible. It's out in the open as much as possible. A little tip here, the TX number on the little screen on the side of your encoder needs to be above 800 kilobytes of stable streaming. So this TX number here, the second one down. So this only goes up or increases when you're streaming. So if you're looking at your encoder now, the TX number is going to be really low. So don't worry about it. It's only accurate when you're streaming. So on match days when you're streaming, keep an eye on that TX number. It needs to stay above 800. So yeah, that's a little tip for you when you've turned it on to check that. Ensure your camera HDMI cable is being looped through your attachment to prevent pulling of the cable out of the camera. Yeah, quite an important on this. So these cables should already come to you like this. They come loop through the attachment and wrap around the camera. So yeah, do not have the HDMI cable just hanging down loose. This attachment here creates some slack in the cable, and that helps and that prevents the cable from being pulled out of the camera, because obviously there's quite a lot of weight on that cable. So make sure it's looped through like these images here. The higher the camera, the better attach you're going to get the cricket. Yeah, so utilize your tripod, or if you've got an elevator there at your ground, you can use like a platform or a hill or something like that. Go ahead and do it. Just be wary though, if it's windy, just don't extend the tripod to its highest height, because you don't want the camera to blow over. Just bring the tripod down a bit, and also utilize the provided sandbags in your kit. So obviously there's no stand in a minute, they're just bags. Utilize those to help stabilize the tripod in windy weather if needed. Set the zoom on the camera appropriately. So yeah, there's a little zoom slider on the top of your camera. You should only need to do that once, because when you set the zoom level, when you turn the camera off, it remembers the zoom level from the last time. So hopefully, if your camera's in the same position every week, you shouldn't need to change it. If there's rain around, we've got a little saying: treat your kit like it's your pitch. So run and get the covers on as soon as possible. So yeah, any bin bags, plastic bags, tape for the cable joins. They're really good for preventing water getting in. It's obviously electrical equipment, so it's not designed to get wet. So yeah, make sure you get it covered if it is raining. And water damage isn't covered under the warranty, so make sure that you're not leaving your kit out in the rain. We do have some wet weather kits available, hopefully in the next couple of weeks too. So if you're interested in those prices and availability, just raise a ticket on the portal, and we can get back to you on that. Final one then: YouTube copyrights music, so do not play music in the background of your stream. You might get some copyright issues on your YouTube account that you might have to deal with. Cool. Some important links that I talked about throughout the session: support website at the top there, the link to contact the support team, and a few other things like sponsors and logos, where you can get all the information about pixel sizes, etc. And just links to our support website basically, which is very helpful. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate we've run over by a couple of minutes there. Thank you all for joining. If you don't have any questions, now is the time. You can feel free to drop off. Hopefully it was a very helpful session for you. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you all soon. If you do have any questions, I'm going to hang around for sort of the next 10 minutes or so, and I'll answer anything that you do have. See a few questions coming in already, folks, so I'll start working on those. Can we change the SIM card in between the match, e.g. changing from O2 to EE, just in case you run out of data? Yes, you can. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, the time in which you're going to change over, your stream might be on, obviously, whilst you're changing the SIM card over. But yes, you can change SIM cards during the match, as long as it's not O2, as long as it's not Vodafone, because obviously if it's Vodafone, it needs to be pre-configured. So, but yeah, changing from O2 to EE is absolutely fine. That's not a problem. Can we connect on hotspot? Yes, you can. So that'll be connecting. So you'll need to, if you want to connect to our hotspot, so like a mobile phone or something, then you'll need to reach out to the support teams, because we'll need to set up your encoder with the hotspot details. So yeah, just raise a ticket on the portal if you're wanting to do that, and we can configure your encoder. But yeah, it has to be the same hotspot each time, because if it's a different hotspot each time, it will need a different configuration, basically. So I'm just going to turn my video back on. But yes, that is possible. I'm worried about the coverage in our ground. Okay, if you're worried about the coverage, well, in your onboarding and delivery email, we've sent you the recommended provider at your ground. So yeah, if you use the Ofcom coverage map, you can check for yourself. So if you just Google Ofcom coverage map, 4G coverage map, have a look at that. Plug your ground's postcode in, it will tell you what provider is the best provider for your ground. But yeah, we've already done that work for you, so just have a look at your email. Can you Wi-Fi without an Ethernet cable? Yes, it is possible to use Wi-Fi. However, we don't really encourage it. There are a few reasons for this, and there's a few clubs that they've tried to use Wi-Fi in the past. Yeah, there's a few clubs that try to use Wi-Fi, and yeah, the success rate of people using Wi-Fi is very low. It's sort of 25 to 30%. There's a few reasons for this. Mainly is the proximity of the encoder to the Wi-Fi router. So your encoder, your FrogBox kit is going to have to be within about 20 meters of the Wi-Fi for it to be able to pick up a signal. But yeah, it can be done. If you're wanting to give it a try, we can most definitely give it a try. But yeah, if you've got 4G coverage at your ground, or if you've got good 4G coverage, I'd definitely recommend that. If not, Ethernet, and then yeah, Wi-Fi is sort of the last option if you do want to go ahead with it. But yeah, give it a go. Reach out to support. Reach out via the portal to the support team, and yeah, we can connect to the Wi-Fi and see how you get on. Can you share links for software installs? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Yeah, maybe if you want to just elaborate on that, I might be able to answer that. But yeah, I'm not sure what you're asking there. So feel free to elaborate on that. What happens if an umpire or away team doesn't consent to the filming? We play on a public field. So yeah, if you don't get if either of the players or the umpires participate in the game say they don't want to be filmed, then you can't film the game. So the ECB guidelines and policies. So everybody participating in the game has to consent. So yeah, that's yeah. If one person doesn't consent, then yeah, you can't stream. Re-support. What happens when matches are on weekday evenings? Yeah, so we have support on weekday evenings as well. Normally from about 5 to 7 p.m. So if you've got, as I said, if you've requested the game, if you requested the game within the deadline, then there will be support online. So yeah, that's not a problem. We have support available in the evenings as well. Can the camera be attached above the sight screen? There's no equipment provided in the FrogBox kit which allows you to attach it to the sight screen. But if you're more than willing to sort of have if you've got anybody at your club who's handy in those sort of things, then you can do. But yeah, we don't supply any equipment to attach it to the side screen. But yeah, if you want to have a go at a DIY project, it can be done. But yeah, there's nothing supplied in the FrogBox kit. Do we need to message every match day to say we are plugged in and ready, or is this if there are issues? Camera being powered during a game, but you said it doesn't take a charge while it is on. Do we need to message every day? Yes, I would do. Yeah, so it's only really for issues, but just as a sanity check, you can message. I would encourage you to message in the WhatsApp group when you're all set up. Yeah. And your second question, camera being powered during a game, but you said it doesn't take a charge. What is on? Yes. So your battery pack is powering your camera. So when it's turned on, it's giving it power. It's not charging the battery in it. So it's just keeping it on basically. So yeah, that's what that's doing. Your camera without any power, your camera will only last about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So the battery pack is just keeping it on. So that's why that's what that's doing. So yeah. During the game, your camera needs to be plugged into the battery pack via the long USB cable. Do Voxy sims need the manual configuration? Yes, they do. Yeah, so Voxy piggybacks on Vodafone, so it will need the configuration. So yeah, if you're using Voxy, you'll need to reach out to the support team to arrange the configuration. Please, can you send out the important links out when you send the recording out? Yes, so the recording, so there'll be a PDF of these slides sent out as well. So within that PDF, you'll be able to click through to those links. So yeah, that'll be sent out as well. If that camera battery gets removed, what are the camera settings we need? Yeah, so there's a helpful article on our website, which tells you the settings. So let me just, I'll quickly, where have we gone? Quickly find that for you. And I'll post it in reply to your comments. So yeah, go onto our support website, so frogbox.freshtest.com/support. And if you just search for camera settings, there's an article there. and it tells you what the settings need to be. But yeah, I'll just reply to your question, so hopefully you've got that there. Does the scorer have to use a phone, tablet, or PCS, or can they use a Chromebook, as that has Google Play on it? Yeah, so you can use any as long as the device is running iOS or Android, then you can use it, and as long as you can download the Play Cricket Score app, then yeah, you can use it. Yeah. Will FrogBox become compatible with PCS Pro in the future? Very unlikely. Yeah, no, it's PCS Pro is developed by a different software company who have their own streaming platform. So yeah, FrogBox will remain exclusive to the PCS app, as far as I know, for the foreseeable future. There's no coverage, unfortunately. If you've got no coverage at your 4G coverage at your ground, then obviously you're going to struggle to use FrogBox with 4G. So yeah, you'll have to use. Hopefully, you can either use Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to stream. So yeah, hopefully you've got Ethernet or Wi-Fi that you can try. Can you please send us the recording of this session, as we might have to revert back to some of the information you provided today? Yes, everybody who attended will receive a recording and follow-up actions. Thank you. It was a really helpful session. No worries, Parash. Thank you for attending. Can we stream a match even if we aren't able to score it on the app for whatever reason? Yes, good question. You can do. So as long as the match is on Play Cricket, you can stream it. And yes, if you're not scoring the game, then that's fine. That you just won't have any live graphics. So yeah, no live scores or automated highlights, but you can still stream it if you're not scoring it. That's fine. Yeah, as long as you've got a Play Cricket match ID and we can set up the stream, that's no problem at all. We are based in Spain. No wet weather kit needed here. Very nice. However, are registered with Play Cricket. When submitting our match request, do we select England and Wales? Yes, good question. Yeah, so yeah, because your fixtures are covered under the ECB platform. Yeah, please just select England and Wales as well. Because you're using Play Cricket and you're using the ECB platform, then yeah, you'll be covered under England and Wales. Hi James, great webinar. Thanks, Rob. Where can I find the WhatsApp number? Also, I've requested a match ticket for this weekend. Where can I check it? Yeah, so depending on whoever your FrogBox kit was sent to, so whoever it was delivered to, we sent an email to them with all the information on. So there's a link in that WhatsApp in that email to that WhatsApp group. So yeah, just contact them and ask them to forward you that email. If not, just raise a ticket on the portal, just asking for the link for your WhatsApp group, and we'll send it directly to you. Also, I've requested a match ticket for this weekend. Where can I check it? Yeah, so if you log into if you've submitted a ticket already on the portal, you should get an automatic reply asking you to set up a profile on the support portal. Once you set up a profile, you should be able to log in and check the status of your ticket. So yeah, you can check all your submitted tickets. If it says resolved, then it's been dealt with. You should also have had a reply. If you've not had a reply yet, then I'm sure you'll get one probably tomorrow, depending on when it was submitted. We aim to sort of reply within about 2 to 3 days to each ticket. Obviously, at the minute it's a very busy time. Lots of tickets coming in with the start of the season. So yeah, just bear with us on that front. But yeah, we will get you will get a reply. But yeah, just keep an eye out for it. Will the stream continue if the game is scored manually rather than on the app? Yes, it will. Yeah. So you just, as I said earlier, yeah, if you're not scoring on the app, you're scoring just with a pen and paper. Your stream will be there. You just won't have any of the live scores on the stream or any highlights or anything like that. If they don't consent, what happens on Play Cricket? Not sure what the answer, what you're asking there. If they don't consent to streaming, then you obviously don't stream the game, but you can still score. You can still play the game and score the game as normal, and it will still go to Play Cricket. So, yeah, consent won't affect Play Cricket in any way. It's just you just not being able to stream on your FrogBox. Having trouble allowing permission to manage YouTube account. Okay, I'll send you that article. So there's a very helpful article on our website which tells you how to connect your YouTube and manage permissions. So I'll just send you that article. Take a look at that. Yeah, just make sure you're doing it. So don't do it from within YouTube Studio. If you go to youtube.com/account, you should have a channel manager section. If you don't have a channel manager section, just follow these instructions here. It tells you what you need to do. Yeah, just follow those. Just follow those instructions here. It tells you exactly what you need to do. But if you're still having trouble, just reach out to us on the portal. I'm sure someone will be able to help. If the scorer presses the bowler running button late, is there a way to recapture the highlight properly? There is, not there and then at the time, but you can go into LilyPad after the game and you can adjust the highlights. So yeah, if your score has mistimed them in LilyPad, you can edit them by going forward or back 10 seconds, etc. So yeah, that you can edit them that way. Can we swap score or phone during a game? Yes, very good question. Yes, you can. You can swap devices. You just need to make sure the person who was on it beforehand has saved and exited the game. So yeah, only one person can be within the match. So yeah, if you're swapping devices, make sure the person has saved and exited the game, and then the next person on their device can just go in and continue scoring as normal. So yes, that can be done. Sorry, my connection dropped out. I didn't hint the answer to, do we need to message every day to say we are plugged in and ready, or is this if there are issues? Yes, sorry, yeah. So yeah, please do message every match. I would advise you to, if you're confident with the setup and you're doing everything right, technically the whole process should be automated, but yeah, I would advise you to message just as a quick sanity check. And then regarding the camera during the game, yes. So your camera, yeah, so it's not being charged, but what the battery pack is doing is it's powering the camera. So it's basically keeping the camera on. So the camera will only charge when it's switched off, and without receiving. So if your camera wasn't plugged into the battery pack, your camera would die after about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So your battery pack is basically powering the camera, so it's keeping it on. It's not charging it, it's just keeping it on. So that's what that's doing. So it's important to always have your camera plugged into the battery pack. The BS83TG postcode. All right, I'll have a look at that for you. This is the website. In fact, here you go. I'll just send you this website. If you plug your postcode into that website and have a look at your coverage, it will tell you what the best provider for you is. Thanks for the webinar, very helpful. No worries, Prasanna. Thank you for joining. It was me. Okay, yeah. So if the email went to you, just have a look at that email. So yeah, I think it's maybe point number 2 or point number 3. Yeah, there's a link to it. It says click here. So if you click the here, it will click you through to the WhatsApp group, and it will allow you to join. So the prompt said, do they consent? If they click no, can they still score? Yes, you can. Yeah, that's fine. We're thinking of trying our FrogBox tomorrow night at charity match we've got scheduled. As far as I can see, though, no one's tried adding it to our Play Cricket listings. Does the match need to be on Play Cricket for the YouTube streams at work? Yes, good question. Yes, so you have to. FrogBox is totally integrated with Play Cricket. So in order to stream, you need to have a Play Cricket link. So the fixture has to be on Play Cricket in order to use your FrogBox. So yeah, if you want to stream a match and it's not on Play Cricket, you'll need to get it added to Play Cricket and then send us a link, and then the stream will be set up. Is there a way to add commentary to the highlights packages? So not within LilyPad after the game. there is a way to commentate live during the game. So on your encoder, there's a microphone port on the front of it. So if you just plug in that, you can plug in a microphone into your encoder. I think it just takes a standard 3.5mm audio jack cable. Yeah, and if you plug your microphone in there, you can commentate live during the game. But afterwards, yeah, there's no way to add commentary in LilyPad. You can add it, so you can export it from LilyPad, and then you can put it into another external piece of software like Premiere Pro or something like that, and you can add audio that way. But yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. We received our FrogBox today. Can we still request streaming for Saturday? Yeah, so I mentioned that during the webinar. Yeah, just raise your ticket. Just raise your Play Cricket link, submit a ticket today. Make sure your YouTube is all connected and linked up. Yeah, so yeah, you can do. It was me that they sent all the info to, but can't find a WhatsApp number. Is it in the support, FrogBox support? Yeah, there's no WhatsApp number in the email. It's a link, so it's an invitation link. So I think, as I said, I think it's point number 2 or 3. If you just read the whole email, there is a link. So there's no number. It's a link, it's an invitation link. So if you click the link, it'll ask you to join the group, and then just click join, and you'll join it. So if we wanted to trial FrogBox at a training session, could we add a ghost fixture to play cricket and stream training as a test? Yes, you can. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to test it as a training session, that's exactly what you need to do. You just need to create like a, say like a, I don't know, create like an inter-club game, and yeah, get a fixture created and then raise it, and you can test it that way. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I think it's point number 3 of the email. Yeah, so Rob, yeah, take a look at point number 3, and it just says there's a link at the end of it. I think click that and you should join it. Thanks, Joe. Cool. No worries. Thanks, Carl. I think this was helpful. Look forward to seeing you streaming soon. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for your help at the end there. I know it's been asked, are you sending out this webinar? Yes, it was. We sent to you tomorrow, probably tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, sort of lunchtime, afternoon. Yes, everybody will get a recording of the webinar and the PDFs. And yeah, no problem. Thanks, Matt. Can we stream away matches too? Yes, you can. Obviously, you probably get permission from your opposition. That's the beauty of the FrogBox kit. You can take it anywhere. It's a very portable solution. You obviously just need to consider signal at the away venue that you're going to. So, you know, obviously, if you get you buy a SIM card provider that's good at your home ground. So say O2 is really good at your home ground and it works well. And then you take it to an away ground, and obviously that they might be in bad coverage for O2. So just think about that. You'll have to just maybe look at that. Yeah, it might be helpful to get like a handful of SIM cards. So maybe get like an O2 SIM card, a free SIM card. Yeah, and just top them up as and when you use them, depending on what coverage is good at which ground. Yeah, so you can use the Ofcom coverage map to check that. So yeah, if you're going to away games, maybe just think about that. But yes, you can do. It's a portable solution. You can pop it up in a field and stream it anywhere, as long as it's got good 4G signal and you've got charge in your kit. You can stream anywhere. Cool. Quite a few questions there. I'll probably. I think you probably have to use Wi-Fi due to no coverage. Okay, yeah, or we'll give that a go. So yeah, just raise a ticket on the portal. and we can try and get you set up on the Wi-Fi and see how that copes. You have to just raise the ticket, and you'll probably get a reply asking to pick a time slot to book a call with our support team, and we can give it a go. No worries, Rohan. Thank you. Cool. There's still quite a few people left in, but questions seem to have slowed up. So I'll hang around for another couple of minutes in case there are any last minute questions, but